essentially they finally reach a something of a conclusion together where they're finally close with one another. And from there, you transition on into Coda route.
Okay, so when it comes to Kotaro, I think we should probably do Kazusa's roots first, especially because, well, the Setsuna route and what gets revealed in the Setsuna route, because, like, when you play the Kazusa route and then you play the Setsuna route, like, a lot of stuff that happens in the Kazusa route, you're like, oh no. Like, especially when it comes to, like, Yoko, which is Kazusa's mother. By the way, I just want to mention, I fucking love Yoko. She's awesome. Okay, people who make White Album 2, make White Album 3. Give us more Yoko content.
That will never happen because visual novels are dead.
Boo.
I don't think Leaf has put out a single VN since this one.
Fucking gay.
Yeah. But anyways, the Coda is set up perfectly where it's a couple years have passed since then. Since Haruki has reunited with Setsuna, you have to go down the Setsuna route in order to progress to Coda. In fact, somewhat uniquely, there's actually like no break. It just transitions directly into it.
It's like a
And
time skip. Time skip.
yeah, and I believe Coda was packed in with closing chapter, and I believe its existence was actually a semi-secret.
Really?
That's my vague understanding. That where when the game was first released, people didn't know that there was this time skip and all this extra content.
Okay, that's pretty interesting.
But anyways, it's been about 2 years. Haruki and Setsuna have been going steady. EO, they well rather Setsuna and Haruki are both finalizing into their career roles where Haruki's finalizing as a journalist, Setsuna finalizing as this liaison, as in the music industry.
Yeah, like life is going well for them. Like they're finally getting somewhere.
Takia is starting to settle down. Uh, he's not going on these random dates with random girls,
Yeah, he's kind of
and
he's putting it into the Playboy.
and he's Io's starting to take notice, and she's starting to have to reckon with his feelings as well. Everything seems to be going stable. Everything
Everything's
looks to be
going
on the up
well.
and up.
Everything's going up and
Everything's
up
going well
until
until
yeah.
Haruki is suddenly assigned to this big place to this big trip to Strasbourg, where and Setsuna demands to go along as the clingy girlfriend she is, and Haruki's already picked out a ring and intends to propose to her at Christmas Mass or around then.
So romantic.
And then who does he run into at this exact moment?
Uh
At this exact time, who, with her outfit slightly shredded, looking at Haruki going, what a coincidence.
yeah, really coincidental. What?
It's
Huh.
Kazusa.
Yeah.
It's Toma Kazusa.
Oh my god. Oh, she's come back again. Fucking. But you're really underselling it. Like, didn't she like see him in the taxi and just fucking chased him like the speed of a ramping bull?
Well, I was trying to be coy about that fact, but yeah, what this game sometimes does is if there's a common route, there's bits of the common route that it will not show off until you go through it on a second playthrough.
Yep.
And this is one of those where in when you first run through it, you look at it only from Haruki's perspective, and you see Kazusa just show up, and you go, What
Who?
are you doing here?"
You're like, huh?
And she just, "Oh."
Yeah, you're
And
like,
she tells him, like, "Oh, I was looking for my mother," is what Kazusa tells him. When you replay through the common route and see it from Kazusa's perspective, you realize she was fucking lying. She was looking, she, by accident, managed to catch Haruki as he was walking into a taxi and then chased him all the way through Strasbourg on foot in high heels.
And the
And then
beer
when her
snow in
high
winter, and fucking winter of all places, like just
in winter, and when her high heels broke, she then went racing around
almost
after
barefooted.
him barefoot in the snow.
Listen, she doesn't want
What
to see
a
him, bros. Like, listen, she doesn't care. Clearly,
what a coincidence.
yeah, it's really coincidental, isn't it, Heraclius? Like, it just oh, it's so coincidental that they just happen to run into each other. Really peculiar, isn't it? It's just downright peculiar.
Well, unsurprisingly, Haruki was called here to do a report and interview for Kazusa, even though he was not told who he was going to be interviewing beforehand.
Sure, Setsuna doesn't mind.
Well, Setsuna wouldn't mind if he didn't just say, "Oh, I know we have church have this wonderful festival and church service that we're supposed to go to, but something came up. I'm sorry. Bye." It's
Fuck.
really fascinating because Haruki had spent so much time, so much effort reworking things with Setsuna,
And he's about to
trying
drop
to
her, and
bring
he's about
things
to drop her
back.
again. And he's about to drop her again like a sack of potatoes.
He's back to his old ways. The moment Kazusa shows up, he starts lying to her again. He starts going, "I'm not going to be honest. I can't." And Haruki, the rationalizing hamster, always has an explanation. It's like, "Well, I can't worry her. I don't want her to get worried," etc., etc., etc. When really he just wants to hang out unencumbered with his first love. In
I,
some
I,
ways, who can believe?
I mean, we can't exactly blame him for it, but like, this is the second time that he's done this to Setsuna. The first time was on her birthday. Yeah, right. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. You can't cuck
Yes.
her on Christmas Eve. Like, like it's so romantic. Like, go to a nice like church. There's holy hymns soon through the air, a cold winter breeze. Like, very romantic. And what does
Mhm.
Haruki do? He cucks her again.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, they don't do anything, but
I
yes, he
know, but
leaves her. But Setsuna, Haruki, and Kazusa start to hit it off, and they talk about various old things. One of the funny bits is where both of them try and provoke the other about seeing if they're seeing anyone. Kazusa
yeah,
is not.
I wonder
Haruki
why.
is. And then they meet up again the next day for an interview, with Kazusa's mother, being also being there.
It's very
The
fun.
whole time, Kazusa is absolutely silly, uh, lashing out, and acting totally spoiled. Uh, Haruki himself admits that he has to like essentially drop more than half of the interview as this would be very bad for her public image to release.
But he's gonna do it anyway.
No, he's not. No, he doesn't.
I was making a joke, but
Well, the audience doesn't know that you're making a joke.
okay, yeah, actually, you are right. I mean, most people can't even read, so I don't think they can even read sarcasm. So, you're right.
But anyways, the result is Kazusa before this point was saying, will never return to Japan. I have zero interest in returning to Japan. Japan is dead to me. There is nothing left for me in that country."
I mean, she's not entirely wrong about that.
And then something like a couple weeks later, news comes out. The famous Toma Kazusa will be returning to Japan for a concert.
She changed her
And
tune rather
everyone
quick.
and everyone tilts their head and goes, "Huh?" And then they tilt their head at Haruki and they go, "Huh?"
Yeah, it's like, wow,
Har
that's a 180.
Yeah. I mean, not that anyone else would know that she felt these feelings towards Japan, but this is her first concert in Japan ever, essentially, since she became a pro. And uh, Haruki comes clean with Setsuna pretty early on about his interview with Kazusa and the fact that he stood her up on that church night. And Setsuna is kind of upset about this, and
Rightfully so.
she basically decides I want to be distant from you for a bit, which is, of course, the perfect opportunity for the Kazusa to get her claws in,
Yeah, and
if
who's
on with
helping? Yeah, and who's helping her mother? like,
her mother.
this is why I fucking love Yoko. Like, she's such a fucking pot stirrer. Like, she's always constantly stirring the pot. I'm like, oh,
None of this story in Coda could happen without Toma Yoko.
we do love Yoko. She's awesome. Like, she's just the eternal pot. Like, she's quite literally like stirring the pot. like,
Yoko was before this. Back in intro chapter, Kazusa would refer to her as being this distant, very cold mother. And Haruki is somewhat put at a loss when he finds her during this interview to actually be quite warm, open, supportive,
charming.
everything you'd want, charming, everything you'd want towards a mother. Whereas it's mostly Kazusa trying to fight her the whole time. And once they make their way over to Japan, it is Yoko who decides to set things up where she knows that her lovely daughter, despite all her training and what an effort she has made and strides she has made in piano, she is in some respects totally an antisocial freak.
Yeah.
That might be a little strong, but
Not antisocial,
she
but she's
can.
definitely a loner.
No, antisocial, I would definitely say so. She cannot handle stardom. She cannot handle reporters, any of that. And this is a problem because, as Yoko tells her oftentimes, like, when you're a person that plays piano, you're not there just to play piano. You're there because you're a celebrity. And as long as you are a celebrity, you will be appreciated for your piano skills. If you're not a celebrity, no one cares.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Kazusa understands this, but she doesn't want to implement this. She doesn't want to have to bother with this crap. And so to try and sort of get her on training wheels of some kind, Yoko decides to set Kazusa up with Haruki as her number one liaison and person covering her as a journalist through her entire stay in Japan. And not just that, she arranges to have her in the apartment
Next
right
door to his.
next to his. Because guess what? Kazusa's never had to live on her own, really. She's always had someone else do her clothes, make her meals, everything. So the result of all this is Haruki very unwittingly, and to some degree Kazusa as well, two of them get pushed together.
Yeah, listen, Yoko knows exactly what she's fucking doing. Like, she's got
Mhm.
manipulation EX. Like, Yoko knows exactly what she's doing.
And Yoko is also looking at it from another perspective. She's looking at it from the perspective of she knows her daughter. And she knows in the past 5 years, her daughter has not gotten over Haruki for a moment.
No.
She still thinks about him. She still spurns the advances of any other man. She is still totally obsessed.
She's, like, pining for him at every, like, every moment she's thinking of Haruki. Like, she's quite literally pining.
I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, she can't move on, essentially. And Yoko's, I mean, it's kind of easy to understand because essentially, like, she had everything set to go with Haruki. They could have just eloped, but instead she decided to go with her career, and now that connection with Haruki has been severed for the past 5 years. And the result of that is there's a certain amount of regret lingering there, and Yoko basically just hopes, okay, I throw them together. Hopefully, there will be some sort of resolution for my daughter here, because
I think Yoko.
So we were talking last about Yoko and how Kazusa ends up coming to Japan. One thing I neglected to mention is Kazusa comes to Japan, uh, and she's hanging out in her hotel for a while. Haruki's been set up as her little liaison, and that's all. Because naturally, Yoko knows her, trusts him. She doesn't trust other reporters. It makes perfect sense. Then happens is Kazusa, while coming back to her hotel, has a little incident where she decides to, where some reporter is pestering her, and pestering her some more, and being kind of obnoxious about it. Kazusa violently shakes her off, tells her to get lost, runs off, drops her purse, drops her cell phone in the purse, drops everything, and starts running off in what direction she knows not. And the result of this is she pretty soon finds herself totally lost, unable to find anything or anywhere. And she finds a hotel, she finds a phone booth. She quickly dials up, and the only number she can remember, a number that she hasn't called in 5 years, is Haruki's number.
And she says she doesn't care about
And
him.
no, she doesn't say that. She says, "Go disappear, you idiot." And she says, why can't you just go away? Why can't my thoughts and feelings about you just go away? Why do you keep returning to me?
I mean, it's kind of the same
And
for
like,
Haruki as well. Like, it's like the specter that just lures on his mind at the end of his mind.
hmm. Yeah, and it's the exact same for her. And like the dynamic between these two is so fun. Like
It's so fun to watch.
Haruki starts scolding her for not do for being out in the rain and not being able to remember anything, and what are you doing, and all these things. Like it's really kind of cute. I don't know if you have anything to say on that.
Yeah, she's kind of like she's like a well-bred husky or something like that. Like that's kind of what she is. She's almost like a pet dog, a well
Well,
purebred
yeah,
dog.
that's the quote from the writer of the VN himself. That's how he described her.
It's very accurate. Plus, I know that because you showed me that quote.
Yes. So she's in the middle of she has no idea where she is. She ends up giving a very brief description of where she is. At the same time, they're both like fighting back with one another. Haruki is saying to her, "Why did you call me? Is it fun for you to torment me like this?" And Kasa says, Do you have an even a fragment of kindness in you?" These two are just constantly doing this dance with one another. Yet
Yeah,
there's
this is just foreplay, man. Like, listen.
oh, it's total play between these two. and, and it's amazing how they can both be like simultaneously hurt when each other says that a little, but like not take it seriously, and they like the two are just effortlessly intimate with each other.
Yeah, it's almost like they're made for each other.
Uh Kazusa and yes. Kazusa happens to call out. Oh, of course, she says it's goodbye forever this time. All this type of stuff. And then Haruki happens to ask her, "Hey, do you know the way back to your hotel?" And she goes like,
Hotel.
I don't." She runs out of time. Haruki barely manages to like go dashing around his local neck of the woods and find out where she is. Has to have her stay at his place over the night, and Yoko shows up the next day, kind of a little annoyed. I mean, I don't know how annoyed, but she's like, "Oh well, she's gone. Done it again." Although she's very thankful to Haruki, is like, "Thank you. You didn't like you could have. My daughter could have been like caught up in some horrible scandal, and you protected her from that."
I mean, worse things could have happened potentially, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But well, I love the scene where like Yoko picks up like Haruki's guitar and just like strums it like a pro drummer or something like a pro guitarist, even though she hasn't been doing it for 15 years. And Haruki comments is like, "Wow, this family's full of monsters. Holy shit."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was fucking cute. Um, and I think it's like after that point, right, is that where Yoko buys the apartment next door to Haruki's because she finds out they're like, oh, it's a vacant
Yes.
apartment. Oh, I've got plans, she says as he rubs her hands together, cackling maniacally.
Yeah, she's basically looking at it from the perspective of I can't look after my daughter all the time. Someone has to teach her some sense. And why not Haruki? Why not him?
Yeah, and that doesn't
Uh,
exactly go well. I mean, she almost burnt down the apartment by like cooking toast. I mean,
well, that's all part of her learning how to become someone who can take care of herself.
that is true, but
But like the next day, Haruki shows up back at his apartment, and he just randomly has Kazusa waiting there, sitting outside in the
pouting.
cold, waiting for him.
Yeah, pouting.
Pouting is like, "What the hell are you doing here?" Kazusa has to explain.
Fucking her mother kicked her out or something like that, or mum's like, "Oh, I'm busy. Here, go save Haruki for a bit." Now we actually find out in the Setsuno like why she's busy, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So Kazusa decides, and for Haruki, this is where he's really starting to delve into feeling like he's betraying Setsuna to a certain degree because Setsuna's decided to be distant for a while because she's upset at him lying to him earlier. And now Kazusa is like showing up at his place, doing all these things with him, and Haruki doesn't dare mention any of this because, well, I don't want to worry her unnecessarily, etc., etc. But really, and you see this interaction with both Haruki and Kazusa over and over again. Like they are so interested in one another and close with one another that they kind of want to exclude Setsuna and keep her out of things.
I mean,
Even
basically,
if they know
it's like
that's
forbidden fruit. It's like forbidden fucking fruit. Like you just want to fucking take a bite.
right, but even then there's an aspect of it where it's just more natural and easier for them to interact without her knowing,
Yeah,
so why does she have to know?
that's true. But also, if she does know, like, there's always gonna be that worry at the back of her head, like, is he gonna pull another like what he did like the last time?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because if he did it
Of
once, he could
course,
do it again.
they are laboring under the delusion that Setsuna can't figure these things out.
But she does. She knows. She always knows. She always fucking knows.
Yes, so these two continue on, essentially doing everyday things the whole way through, for a number of different days, reminiscing, talking about the experiences they've had together, Uh, the experiences they've had one how intimately they know each other at this point. Yeah, this is where yeah, do you have anything to say?
No, nothing much. Like, I find their interactions like really fun and stuff like that. But like, we should probably move on to when the stuff gets really fucking spicy. Like, it's just kind of like it's kind of like you're seeing this is like kind of like the build up to like the crazy stuff that happens in her route and Setsuna's route. Like you can, I think the interesting thing about it, right, is you can kind of see like the temptation is there for them to try and go ahead, but none of them's gonna do it just yet. But you can kindly see like the temptation on both their parts to like go forward.
Well, the two of them have this bit where Kazusa will ever so often make these little tiny deniable advances, like trying to get him to hug her, or there's a scene at the school where Kazusa reveals to Haruki something that's revealed in the anime, but isn't revealed in the VN until this very moment.
Oh yeah, the
That Kazusa took his first kiss while he was right there when he was sleeping. The night after, well, the night after the concert, Kazusa monologued to him and then stole his first kiss. And Setsuna oversaw this, and that's the reason that Setsuna then decided to go in for the kill and confess to him. Before that moment, she had been locked into the idea of, well, I'll, I love him, but we'll just try and be friends. We'll try and not put this aside. This I don't want like hard feelings, any of that. Like Setsuna a good girl. She was legitimately trying to keep it so that all the three of them could be together. And while you thought Setsuna was the one to make the first move, it
was
was
Kazusa.
really Kazusa. And from that perspective, Kazusa actually sent these things into action, and Setsuna didn't really do necessarily much wrong.
Yes.
But again, that's just an opinion.
Yeah, yes, you
Uh,
are Setsuna's strongest simp. So anyway, moving forward, um,
Kazusa, and I mean, this is like a tremendous shock to Haruki as he confesses it, as she confesses it, and she is like really thrown for a loop.
yeah,
Um, she starts talking. I mean, she starts really trembling uh, about and crying and breaking down as they talk about it. It's funny how she starts talking about how he's cruel. He starts talking about how she's cruel for putting him in all these situations. So, at the end of all that, Kazusa finally is about to have her big performance. She's going to have two big performances. And she tells Haruki that I want you to be there for the performance. After that, we'll never see each other again.
yeah,
Haruki, in his last act of trying to be faithful to Setsuna, and trying to distance himself from Kazusa, he decides to not go to the concert and decides to meet up with Setsuna, who's way far south doing a business deal. Because he hasn't seen her, like, since he met up with Kazusa.
yeah. And this is
And
where
he
the
feels like he has to.
yeah, and this is where the deviations go in as part of deviations go in for the Setsuna and Kazusa route. Like
Well, let me finish. Haruki feels like he has to do this. He has to show like his fidelity to Setsuna. He has to show this by like Setsuna's finally closing this big deal. She has to be there for her, and he has to leave Kazusa behind and all that.
and what does he do instead? Piss
Um,
both of them off.
yes, this is where Haruki can make one of two decisions. He can either confess to Setsuna what's going on and how he left Kazusa to be with her, At which point, Setsuna is both touched and berates him and says, how the hell do you think she's going to feel? You and basically tells him to get on a train to go back to the concert immediately. Uh that's the one option.
Or
The
option
other
two.
option two, is that Haruki uh lies to Setsuna and says, "Oh, there's nothing wrong. See, I even have my little ring here for you to proclaim my fidelity to you and us getting married." And then he bangs Setsuna all night long.
Listen,
While Setsuna said,
there is no other girl. He has not been cheating on you. That doesn't exist. I'm just mentioning the scene from Avatar, right? There is no war from the Fire Nation. There is nothing beyond the walls of Ba Sing Se. Listen, everything is fine, Setsuna. Don't worry about it. But of course, even when in that option, she knows. She always fucking knows.
yeah, she mentions during the whole scene after they fucked, basically says, if you're going, mumbles to herself in her sleep, if you're gonna pull a deception, Haruki, you'd better follow through with it to the end. So no matter what happens, Haruki decides
Basically, Kazusa fucking has a
to
freak out. Like, Kazusa, she tears up the studio, the hotel. Like, she's mega
we
pissed.
didn't mention her concert. We didn't mention her concert.
Okay, the concert
Her
does not go well.
concert goes poorly. It
Yes.
goes, as far as someone of Kazusa's caliber goes, it goes very poorly. And behind the stage, she is absolutely
Ape shit.
lost it with rage. She is just destroying everything she sees in her path.
Yeah, like, she goes
And
batshit.
totally batshit. And so no matter what you told Setsuna or didn't tell Setsuna, uh, you Haruki finds her a day later. He's looks everywhere for her, everywhere, because she just absolutely disappears, and Yoko and her group
Don't
don't
know where she
know
is.
where the fuck she is. Like, he looks everywhere he can think. He finally comes back to her old apartment. He finds that
Old
someone's
house. It's
broken
not an
in.
apartment, it's a house.
Old house, yes.
And I just want to talk
And
about. I just want to, like, before we
there's like,
continue. Um, it's actually quite sad to see the house as it is, like all dilapidated and stuff like that, because like, it was actually like a pretty nice house. Like, it's kind of like sad to see it that way.
well, it's a symbol for how times pass by
Yeah.
and how that old past era, like, between them is like gone and
Yeah, that's what I
everything,
was also going
and
to mention as well. Like, I think kind of like like metatextually or whatever the phrase is for it is, like it kind of represents that like they can't go back to the way things were. You know, it's not the same anymore.
no, they can't.
No.
Hmm.
Continue.
So what happens is Haruki finds Kazusa. She's there's blood on the ground. Kazusa's like so torn things up that she's bleeding from broken glass, and as she shows up and she starts pounding Haruki's chest. Where the hell were you? Where were you? Where did you go?
Yeah, and it's such a fucking like tense shit, and she's like on top of him, like fucking pound, like fucking like fucking like she's just pissed.
Yeah, she let me hit you, let me hurt you, you liar. Like, she is understandably absolutely devastated. Uh, and she begs him, like, stop ignoring me. I'll never be. Uh, and she basically tells him, why did you appear before me? Like, she basically tells him that she was barely hanging on before she met him. She was barely hanging on being able to devote herself only to her work as a pianist, even if it was a melancholy work. Even she was stable, she could do it. But why? Why did you have to show up? Why did you have to remind me? Why did you have to give me these feelings? All of it. Why? Why did
Drama.
you accept being with me? Why are you leading me on? And it's at this point she says, "Let go of me, or I'll or else I'll kiss you." And it's at this point, this is the other path divergence. If if you've chosen to tell the truth to Setsuna, Haruki will turn away and tell her. And in the middle of, and I'm not selling it
No.
well enough. I'm not selling it in terms of how impeccable the voice acting is by Kazusa's
PA.
actor. How much of this is a crescendo of all the time which she's leaned on Haruki and has shown how vulnerable she is and how wanting she is. All of these little moments have been like building up, building up, building up, and you could see how on edge Kazusa was throughout all of this. And this is just the
The tipping
final
point.
straw
Yeah, the tipping point.
where and she's like screaming, "If you, essentially, if you don't hate me, then make love to me right now." Uh, and it's at this point Haruki
Has two
can
choices.
make one of, yeah, he can either say, "I'm sorry, I love sets." He can turn away and say, I and Kazusa's framing this all as this will just be a one-time thing. We'll do it once or maybe a little and then forget it. Haruki can tell her, "No, like, once we can't do it like that. I can't lie to myself like that. I can't do things like you where I can pretend like this." Or you can do as Kazusa requests and lean in
Yeah, so
and
I just want to
start to live
mention,
a
like,
lie.
yeah. So before we continue forward, because we're gonna go with the Kazuha stuff and then the Setsuna stuff next. I think this scene's really important for Haruki's character because I think it represents very much like if you go down the Kazusa route, like the normal route, right? You're kind of falling back into old habits. Like Haruki is gonna settle in to what he's always done. If you go for the Setsuna route, however, it kind of represents like a break in his character. Right? He's picking the harder path here.
Well, it's a number of things. It's if it's specifically if he goes down the cheating route and he embraces Kazusa right there. He's embracing what he always does, and I think what most people would do at such a moment of crisis, at such a moment of emotional turmoil, he gives in a little, and then every subsequent sequence is based off of that breaking in that scene of emotional turmoil. However, he can also just forthwithly tell Kazusa, essentially, I need time. Like, I need time to decide whether or not I can really accept you over Setsuna. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to lie to Setsuna. I'm not going to pretend to I'm not going to go off banging you while pretending to be with Setsuna. I need to decide who I'm going to go with. That's one option he can take. The other option is he can say, I love Setsuna even so, and I'm just going to look after you." And then the other option is just give in.
And you know, I think a lot of
And
people, if you're in that situation, I think most people would give it.
99% of people would give in.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would do it. I regret it afterwards, but I'm just like, yeah, like I would probably like you know the cars, like yeah, yeah. Except I wouldn't be dating Sets in the first place. So where's the moral quandary? Oh, I can have this chick I've always wanted. Wow.
Mhm.
But yeah, but like the cheating route is fucking crazy. Like Skinwalker crazy. Like they get freaking
Yeah.
third floor freaking.
The
We've got 30 more minutes. I'll
food
wrap
that
this
she
up. But like this route is fucking crazy, and through this entire route, my back of my mind's like, does she have like? Listen, she's just been a bad girl when she was to be punished by Daddy Haruki. We might have forgotten to mention this.
so what?
That Kazusa also like almost views Haruki as like a surrogate dad. I think we forgot to mention that.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about that. Both Setsuna and Kazusa view him as a surrogate dad for different reasons. Setsuna because she has the very stable upbringing, and so she naturally wants to see her father in Haruki. And then Kazusa, from the other perspective, because she has the very unstable upbringing. She has never known a father,
In fact,
and
she doesn't know who her
so in
father is
some respects,
actually.
she desperately craves one.
Yeah,
No, she
like
has no idea who her father
yeah, that's
is.
what I said. Like she has no. It's not like that. Like oh, she knows who her father is, but he's not around. Like she does not have any idea who her father is, and Yoko isn't saying shit. So either it's one of those like Yoko doesn't care type, like it's one of her random flings, or maybe it's like someone
Hmm.
that she doesn't want to remember again because the Kazusa cheating route. I might be jumping a little bit ahead, but very much if you do the Kazusa cheating route, like it's very much Kazusa following in her mother's footsteps, like this doomed love affair that goes nowhere.
Yeah. So what happens there is Kazusa convinces her, hey, you just have to lie. Lie a little bit, like I always do. And it's like you can still be with Setsuna. There's no one. You can still make love to her, but you'll just see me every so often when she's not around. Isn't it perfect that way? Uh,
Yeah, Kazusa wants to be like Haruki's mistress on the side.
yeah. There's a scene of, of Jan. I mean, this is narrow gay, so of course it's got some of that stuff. There's a scene where Haruki has set up this system where he texts Kazusa in advance, uh, basically a number to tell her, hey, uh, hey, I might be home with Setsuna or not. If I will be, just leave your apartment. Obviously, you don't want to hear that stuff. Only she doesn't fucking leave. She just sits there and listens and is
Like you gotta
doing
think to yourself
herself
that these
listening and
yeah, like you gotta think to yourself. Both of these girls have like an NTR fetish or something like that, like a cuckold fetish. Like, oh yes, Haruki, someone
I
please cheat on me more.
well with Kazusa, I mean I don't know. Maybe it's
I'm being sarcastic,
partially
but
the
like,
pain. I mean, I'm trying to take it semi seriously because, like, Kazusa's at some point, like, maybe she's so used to the pain that it remind and humiliation of him going off with Setsuna that it now reminds her of him, and I don't know. Uh, but anyways, the result of all that is Kazusa but when that's not going on, Kazusa and Haruki essentially bang all the freaking time.
oh yes, like they're going
They
at it,
bang,
like
bang, bang.
yeah, like they're going at it. They're doing it in the apartment. They're doing it at the school. They're doing it in the park.
They're doing it in the park when everyone can see.
But listen, but that's
Okay,
part of the
I
thrill. Listen, Heraclius, that's part of the thrill. Like, listen, the idea of you getting caught, that's what makes it thrilling. Like, listen, it's not romantic enough. It's not hot enough,
Mhm.
Heraclius. You gotta crank it up.
Oh yeah, and the two of them are like go on this escapade where both of them are just escalating, trying to find get one another off more, to put themselves in more dangerous situations, uh to embrace the danger and lust and all of that.
And
There's
so
a
the
scene
CGIs are very
where the
nice. Are very nice. It's like,
there's a scene where Kazusa shows up uh where someone shows up at their room trying to ask her what the hell is going on, uh, trying to see if Haruki is there, and they while him and Kazusa are banging on the other side of the door, and they just keep banging, hoping that whoever's at the door will just go the fuck away.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
they basically drown themselves in pleasure for like constantly.
they drown themselves in pleasure. This is the Kazusa feel route.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah.
Uh, and there's this wonderful tension where Kazusa will both give in totally and yet will still talk distantly about how well, like her whole shtick is that we're licking one another's wounds, we're living a lie, and we just have to love it for the moment. Um, and all this stuff. And Haruki like gets upset whenever she talks like this, but every so often she lets it out anyways. Haruki decides to go on a grand vacation right before and like it's to the point where Kazusa's a pianist. Kazusa has to be practicing like every day,
Oh,
like
she is
eight,
practicing, just
ten
not.
hours
Yeah,
a day.
listen, she's not. She is practicing. She's just not practicing piano.
Yeah. And she ultimately, she and Haruki decide, like, I think it's like 8 days before the concert, they decide to run off. They decide to elope together to this hot springs. I believe the
The
same
same
hot
hot spring,
springs they were
yes.
at 5 years ago
Yep, the
with
same one.
Setsuna.
Yep.
Just the two of them now. They bang like crazy,
As they always
and
do, as you do.
they start talking about would we ever get married together, and Haruki says yes, I'd marry you, I'd choose you, we should get together, we'll be husband and wife, we'll write that in the ins register tomorrow. And they
It's so
kiss and they
romantic.
cry and they make out, and then the next day Haruki wakes up and Kazus is gone. He's left. He goes running all over the place looking for her, finds her in the middle of the snow, and she basically tells him, I decided from the very beginning we would end today. That this was just a quick thing, that we were always just going to be living a lie. It was wonderful being able to feel like I was married and to be able to have such happiness, but I can't embrace that. Goodbye, Haruki. And she just leaves.
And they
Leaving
don't.
Haruki. Yeah,
We're gonna please.
One thing Kazusa says is like, look, you can go back to your life with Setsuna now. All you have to do is lie to her like I've lied to you. That's
Yeah.
all you have to do.
Yeah,
That's all that needs
yeah,
to be done.
and eventually they have the concert and stuff like that, and eventually Kazusa leaves, and it's just kind of like you kind of feel like it's history repeating itself with her, because you get the impression that Yoko did almost the exact same thing as she's doing right now, like having this doomed love affair, and
He
where
mentions that she's decided to follow in her footsteps. Kazusa has been banging with Haruki nonstop without protection. She talks more than a few times about having a baby. It's very clear what Kazusa's master plan is
yeah,
through
she's got
all of
Haruki's love.
this.
She's got Haruki's love child. Fuck it.
It'll, yeah, she is. uh, she decides to do all of this, following almost certainly in her mother's footsteps, and she says, "Hey, you just have to go back to Setsuna. You just have to lie to her."
Yeah, I mean, if she
And
isn't pregnant if she isn't pregnant, then like Haruki is like infertile. But anyway,
and like Haruki is like totally bawling when Kazusa does all this. He is like freaking out. He's whereas Kazusa just says, "I'm not someone who can protect you. I'm not someone who can lean on you. And Kazu, so for all these reasons, she decides to distance herself, go away. Um, and then Setsuna watch the concert, Haruki and Setsuna together. All Haruki has to do is say nothing, pretend nothing has happened the past few months,
Yeah, nothing's happened at all. It's
but
not
he
like I've had a
can't.
secret like love child. That never happened.
But he but he can't. Haruki never. He 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 immediately like breaks down. He tells Setsuna everything. He rubs it into Setsuna. He tries to tell her everything that he's done, how horrible he is, how he should
Yeah,
never be forgiven, how
what pages?
he's
No, what pages of the Kama Sutra they use? Like the whole shebang, everything.
and Setsuna leaves him, leaves Haruki at the concert, and yet have this epilogue. Kazusa Craze has died down, um, and yet there is Setsuna. She's gone on to do more singing and everything, yet she's still come back to Haruki.
Yeah, and
She
what? Yeah,
still
she still
loves
comes.
him.
Yeah. And like when I saw that ending, and I think I was talking about you in the chats we're having, it's like it kind of goes back to a weird like a status quo, but like this is really like unsettling. Like it's
Hmm.
really unset. Like the more I thought about that ending, like it's just really unsettling. Like yeah, it kind of goes back to a status quo, right? But it's like a really unsettling status quo. Like it just kind of like it just kind of unnerved me.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's both like some people have called it the best route
I mean, I
because
would kind of
it's the
agree,
one in which Haruki continues down who he's been most of the way through, and
but
yet
at the same time,
it's like the culmination of all the character flaws of all three of the
yes,
characters.
that's exact.
Haruki with his Haruki with his combination of stubbornness, inflexibility, and sometimes indecisiveness. Kazusa with her manipulative streak and both her pride and inferiority complex, making her feel unworthy and trying to distance herself, and Setsuna with her
Enabling.
obsession with enabling her obsession with Haruki, where she's so willing to forgive him and so willing uh, to always empathize with what he's gone through and
Even
accept him
though he is
anyways.
like cheated on her twice, betrayed her. I mean, most average, like your average girl, this like would dump him like a sack of bricks.
Anyone, anyone, anyone but Setsuna.
Yeah, anyone but her.
Well, what part of it is Setsuna is the type of girl who she's a little like Haruki. She wants to look out for people. And Haruki described in a flashback, Setsuna came to visit about a week later. And at this point, Haruki's just shut himself off from the world, is totally cooped up in his apartment, doesn't want to see anyone. And Setsuna shows up at his apartment and says to him, do you want to forget me and overcome this, or do you want to overcome this with me? Those are the only two choices you have, Haruki. You know which one sounds happier to me? And like she's so able to depersonalize herself and take that rationalistic, out of body approach, at least when it comes to Haruki. But I think to a certain degree in general, that she's able to accept him even through all that. And the two sort of come back together with each other.
Now and then,
it
Kazusa,
ends on a
yeah.
very uncertain note.
After leaving off this very unsettling love affair, how does the Kazusa True route go anyway?
Uh, Possibly more unsettling. You really can't win no matter what you do. So,
Yeah, if only they pick the best girl, or your opinion of the best girl, Setsuna.
well, I'm not discussing who is best or not best girl. What I'm merely discussing is that, well, we'll get to Setsuna route, but hers is only the only like saccharine, true happy ending. Both of these Kazusa endings are really, really melancholy with a lot of
Yeah, and rather
downside.
bittersweet and rather bittersweet as well.
Yeah. So essentially, what happens is change point here is whether or not Haruki gives in when Kazusa's pounding on his chest, asking how the hell could you abandon me at the concert, at the very least make love to me right now. And he tells her no. And he doesn't say a no because I love Setsuna. He says no because I am not willing to engage in this lie with you. I know if I start engaging in this with you, I will fall in love with you over Setsuna. It won't just be some temporary thing. So I need to determine for myself whether I wish to be with you or Setsuna. And after essentially after some amount of Kazusa moping and her fearing and the unfortunate fact of that Haruki proposed to Setsuna uh, a few days ago gets leaked out to everyone, which makes things even more complicated.
Yeah, since we know that like Haruki was doing that because he knows he's got a bit of the wandering eye of Sauron, right? Like his eyes start wandering towards Kazusa, and he's trying to like course correct.
Yes, it's what he often does. What he often will do is he will try and tie himself down in some way to prevent himself, you're right, from going off track or whatever. And then it'll only make things more complicated when he becomes essentially indecisive later.
Yeah, that's kind of like a recurring thing we see with his character throughout this entire game is that he tries to keep himself grounded. There's always that wandering eye that just casts off on Hither, and he goes for it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Uh,
also I think it's
and, and
and I think it's kind of
well, I was
interesting.
just running themes through this route is Kazusa will occasionally say to Haruki, Kazusa's got major inferiority complex issues, which is understandable because she's been so isolated for so long. Uh, she's been
I mean, all she has is basically Haruki and Setsu.
and her
Like,
mother.
yeah, and her
Not
mother.
even
That's
Setsuna, I'd say, from her perspective.
well,
She
not from. I
Kazusa
mean, not from
does.
her perspective, but like objectively, right? Like all she has is her
Mhm.
mother, Haruki, and Setsuna is like a maybe.
Yeah, and so one thing that Kazusa pushes back against a lot in this route is she feels guilty for basically trying to seduce away Haruki because he's like, I'm not giving up my piano. You would have to not just destroy your life for me, but upend everything that you're doing. But also, and of course, he's getting engaged and you have to break off that engagement. But on top of all of that, she realizes that emotionally, Kasusa, is just a lot more fragile. And she says, like, essentially, she cannot be a shield to Haruki the way Setsuna can. Only he can be a shield to her, but it's entirely one way.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, with Setsuna, you can argue that she's more like emotionally stable and stronger than say Kazusa is,
mhm.
which is Look, I mean, it's not Kazusa's fault. I mean, she is very much like a pampered pooch. She is a well-bred husky dog. Who has
And it's at a certain point where Kazusa starts talking about she's going crazy. Like she finds out about the engagement and she immediately runs off and she's like, I want to leave Japan. Like I'm not doing justice to it. She has a total mental freak out. She's saying I'll break if I stay any more time here. No, I hate this place. I hate Japan. I have to get out of here. Get yeah, and in all these ways, like even though there's this strong connection with him, because it's been 5 years, and because in some ways he's sort of moved on and she hasn't, she feels this disconnect between the two of them, and it's at this point, as Kazusa is going histrionic, that Haruki starts proclaiming to her, starts insulting her in all these ways. You're selfish, you're a slob, you're a failure of a human being, you're a bad personality, you look beautiful, but rotten on the inside. Uh, uh, but even so, I love you. I love you more than anyone else in the world. I can't bear seeing you unhappy like this.
I mean, like here's the thing: like Kazusa was his first love. I mean, yes, as much as he loves Setsuna, the first one is always the most intense.
Perhaps. And he says, I'll. And it's basically at that point he decides, I'm going to throw everything else away. I will do I'm going to cut all ties. I'm going to sever all ties. And I've seen some people point out this is like the first time we eventually get a quick flashback from Kazusa's perspective, and it's the first time we actually see Haruki in CG. And I've seen some people describe it as like, in some ways, this is Haruki coming into his own character. This is Haruki making like the most decisive choice and decision he has with a character who is perhaps defined by his indecision.
Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned this before, but like, how Haruki has a little bit of bad boy energy. Like, this is
Mhm.
when he goes full bad boy. I mean, it's kind of radical if you think about it. Like, even from a Japanese perspective,
It's
right? Like, he's
inc-
cutting. It's like it's so freaking radical, and you kind of think to yourself like, yes, Haruki's finally now embracing the bad boy we all knew he could be, going full
it,
rebel.
it's incredibly radical. And the two of them essentially make this romantic oath. And they say, okay, we have like about a month together or so left in Japan. As like penance and to like show that I'm not cheating and everything. Through the whole time we're in Japan, we won't make love, we won't do any of that. Uh, and but first of all, they have to explain it all to Setsuna.
Oh no.
And
The Jaws theme plays in the background. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. No, actually, even better. The School Days ending theme plays in the background as they walk up to Sister's house. Kamashimi, no.
it wouldn't be that big of a jump. Like Setsuna, I mean, something that's so adorable about Setsuna is every time like she knows
He always
news
knows.
that no every time she knows that news she doesn't want to hear is about to be broken, she tries to avoid it. Like he starts to confess what's going on, and Setsuna goes, "Oh, I've got to get going. I have to leave." It's like, no, I don't want to hear anything else. And then when he tells her I'm leaving, she starts like declaring, I can't hear you. This isn't happening. La di da di da.
Listen,
This is all in my head.
listen, she's trapped in the Matrix. That's what's going on.
Yeah. And so at this point, Haruki flashes briefly back to his promise that he made to Setsuna 5 years ago when she was venting onto him on the phone long before they started dating of, I won't ever leave you, Okiso. And I don't know, it kind of says something about Haruki that he feels a lot of guilt for breaking this 5-year-old promise.
Like the
Uh,
thing with I get with Haruki, right, is even though I'm making the joke that he's going full bad boy. I mean, he is he's a man of integrity in many ways. Like he does he does try and make promises and he does try to keep them. But the problem is that he's a bit passive and indecisive when it really matters, and that's kind of like the issue. I mean, a promise is only as valuable as the people who are willing to keep
mhm,
it, and I think that's kind of like Haruki's issue is that he
mhm.
makes these dealings and stuff like that, but never just always falters on them. Well, not always, but like inevitably will falter on them because he can't make a decision. And
Yeah,
the first time he really made an actual choice, like a proper choice, like a decisive, this is what's getting done. It's still painful for him because because for the first time he's not breaking a promise or something like that because of his indecisiveness. He's doing it because he made a choice this time, the actual first choice he ever made.
yeah. Setsuna actually says, "I could tell when you came to me in Osaka when you really desired me. That confirmed to me you were trying to run away from me because you were already leaning towards Kazusa, excuse me. Yeah." And Setsuna starts like talking about what can I do to change? What can I do? What did I do wrong? And he tries to tell you, no, no, you haven't done anything wrong. This is my fault. This is me being a bad person. Don't beat yourself up over this. And it's just like, no, what did I do wrong? And then she starts bargaining. Why can't the three of us be
This is
together?
like the five stages
All
of
three
grief
of us.
almost. This is almost like the five stages of grief. Bargaining, denial. Oh my god, she's literally going for the five stages of grief right now in 5 minutes. Holy shit.
Pretty much. She gets totally depressed and despair ridden after this.
Yeah, I heard. Apparently,
Um,
I saw a thing where apparently she faints or something like that from shock. Or
yeah, I think that's part of it. Just under the slightest questioning from Tomo, she breaks down hysterically crying.
I've seen some of the CGs.
Yoko
It's painful to fucking watch.
Yoko, when you talk to her about your plans, she's not exactly entirely happy. Even though this is like theoretically great for her daughter, Yoko like apologizes to you. She says, I'm sorry. I should have done something more to prevent this. Like you accepted my daughter to the point of destroying your own brakes.
Yeah, I mean, literally, Haruki and Kazusa go thermonuclear in this route, and they burn almost every single bridge. It's like Nagasaki or the Great Fire of London times 100. Right? They're just like fuck it, you
Mm.
know, go full bad boy, embrace it, embrace the chaos and change, and don't care how many broken hearts you leave in your wake.
Yeah, it's really something else. You didn't get this far, did you, Fox?
Well, I just arrived, but I
Kazusa true
suppose you're
route. That's what we're up
talking
to.
about. I suppose you're talking about Kazusa route.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. I was there like some time
Okay.
ago. But yeah, what should I say? Yeah, chaos is a ladder. Not very much to add about that.
Yes.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. And the whole, like I said, Yoko's not entirely happy.
I mean, I don't think
Um,
Yoko was super happy about the affair either, but at least with the affair, it's one and done.
yeah, and I mean, it's in some ways, it's almost. I feel a little hypocritical of Yoko in some ways, because like I guess from her perspective, she's someone who doesn't take these things as seriously as someone like Haruki or Kasusa does. So she can't see the lengths to which those two are willing and will naturally gravitate towards going.
I mean, with
Uh,
Yoko, I mean, she's a little bit.
Mm.
I mean, she's not. I mean, she's a little bit like the village bicycle in a way. Like a lot of people have had a ride, so you know,
mhm.
she's a bit more.
Yeah, and she can't really imagine how seriously these two take it. And Yoko is like, oh, I'll just throw her with them together for like a few months and they'll get closure or something like that. She's been agonizing about this for 5 years, and let's just get it resolved and
Yeah, I
over
mean,
with.
with the
Eh,
cheating route with Yoko, it's like, okay, she's kind of got what she wanted. She's gonna be pregnant with a kid. Blah blah blah. You know, one and done, not a problem anymore. But with this, Yoko's like, oh no, oh no.
well, I mean, she's happy for her daughter. She's very happy for her daughter, uh, but she just feels pity for Haruki. She feels pity for what he's choosing to do to himself.
Yeah, like we're really underselling like the lengths he's gonna go through. Like he's gonna move to an entire foreign country, have to learn an entire new language, find himself a job and stuff like that. Like he's quite literally
But
got
it's
like
not. It's changing careers, changing career tracks, changing country, and cutting all ties, and not just like, oh, sorry, I'm not going to be able to see you guys again. It's no, you're betraying a very close friend of all of theirs, who is your ex-lover, and they will never see your side of things, and they will never trust you again.
yeah, like he literally he like I think even Takia and Io fucking turn on him. Like just like it's done. Like he's never coming back. Like he's like there's no going back.
Yes.
He's crossed the Rubicon at this
Yeah.
point.
And he has a sit-down talk where he explains everything to the three of them, those two plus Tomo. And they actually get really, really angry, especially when like Tomo throws out a line about like, "Hey, did she seduce you with her wonderful body? Was she that good?" And Haruki's like, no, we haven't done it. We want ideas about purity and whatnot, and not wanting to betray Setsuna to that degree until we've gone. And
And that's where they get really pissed off.
that's where they get really, really pissed off because they say like, what kind of fantasy land are you living in here? You're trying to
It's
be
almost like
like,
this fairy tale version of Romeo and Juliet. Like these,
mhm.
it's very fantastical. Continue.
Yeah, and they basically accuse him of trying to, in some ways, escape from reality, and insulting to Setsuna about the idea that he could sleep with Setsuna and not sleep with Kazusa and yet have a closer connection with her. And then she's like, "Is this just like some bizarre platonic love between you two, and now you're just going to run away? What what a poor excuse for love!" And she's they're just absolutely disgusted. And Haruki is thrown for an absolute loop. He expected to be insulted, but he didn't expect the assault to come from this route. And eventually, Takia like pulls him to the side as the girls go nuts at him, and he's like, "Hey, I understand everything that you've done, but look, just come back to the light. Come back to the Setsuna side. I'm sure we can work something out.
Go
Explain to
back
me
to
why
the
you're doing
background.
this." And he won't do it because he's fallen to the dark side. He's realized he loves black hair.
Unforgivable.
But at this point, Takia just
Gives up.
gives up, and he says, "Takia's like, I'm begging you, say it was all a bad joke, or else I'll have to conclude that you're like a horrible guy.
And
I'll
like
never forgive you."
yeah, I mean from Takia's perspective, this is an incredibly cruel thing to do to Setsuna. This is incredibly
Oh
cruel.
yeah, not just in terms of like obviously they were getting engaged, but in terms of like Setsuna's always been obsessive towards him, always, and like they've been close together for so long, she can't imagine life without him. It doesn't compute.
Yeah,
It
Setsuna
doesn't
EXX is not
compute.
EXE not working.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of this route go through is like.
Yeah, characters are just bamboozled and like baffled and bamboozled or what? What the fuck is going on?
They're bewildered. He eventually has to come to the Setsuna household and explain everything. Good old Takahiro, little brother of justice, just fucking tackles Haruki and starts beating him,
Based.
screaming, "Give back the 5 years you stole from my sister!" And everyone's against him. And then, but Setsuna is coming at it from the different route because Setsuna never gives up. She's coming at, why are you trying to push Haruki away from me? Why are you trying to do this? I hate all of you. I hate you, my
Oh my
family.
fucking god!
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is Ed at the top. I will say.
Listen, these are just
The
yeah. These are
purest
clearly not
text.
red flags. These are not red flags. Listen, these aren't red flags. These are just fun facts about her.
No, these are not red flags. These are red banners.
The fun facts about me.
Oh my god. Man, I love it that like her father just try like I'm just imagining being like Sitsa's father watching this and he's just like, oh fuck, where did I go wrong?
Yeah, and yeah, Setsuna's father basically says to him, I'm sorry for, like, very professionally, I'm sorry for my brother, my son beating you up. We'll, if there's any medical expenses, we'll pay for them. But please, never come back here again.
Yeah.
It's see the and it's like full on like protecting his daughter, and he's bad
Yes.
for his daughter, and he's never approved of Haruki.
Only the gay laws of modernity prevent me from declaring a duel against you and cutting your fucking head right now. Get away from my house.
Haruki versus Setsuna's dad, round one fight, and then he just he rips off his turtleneck shirt and you realise he's like and then like on his back it says like Japanese Self-Defense Corps Marine Corps.
Those
Nano
guys,
machines.
nano
But
machines. No.
son, but then Setsuna goes chasing after him,
Oh no.
chasing after Haruki. She starts saying, "No, they're all in the wrong. Them hurting your feelings." Haruki's like, "No, stop this. Stop taking my
Honestly, her
side."
dad. Listen, her dad and brother are quite literally in the right.
Yeah, and then she says, like, "No, the three of us can be together." She starts coping. Please let me join the two of you. And she
Yeah.
starts saying, "As
That point is the point in which Setsuna has reached like zero sanity point in Call of Cthulhu terms.
Yes.
There is no way any or like anything like that can possibly work. Like,
nope."
and he knows it perfectly. And if this was Call of Cthulhu, she will be started chanting right about now to call the Great Old Ones. And we are
Yeah.
at this level of nuclear explosion of the plot.
I mean, she starts screaming that she'll go to Vienna with him and breaking down, "I won't let you be stolen away." As she goes crazy. Haruki leaves her, and eventually, Kazusa feels really guilty through all of this,
Gee, I wonder
understandably,
why.
because
Yeah, gee, I wonder why.
yeah, because she is effectively the instigating cause of all of this, and she sees what
I mean,
Setsuna.
as far as everyone else is concerned, like she's the wicked seductress who has taken Haruki away from them. Like the wicked witch.
Yeah, and Kazusa sits down with Setsuna on their own, and Setsuna starts talking about how Kazusa's just taken everything of hers, but then going, "There's no reason for you to apologize for anything. No, nothing at all. We can all be together forever. We don't have to apologize."
Just Monica, just Monica, just Monica.
Listen, things are
uh,
so desperate that Sets is willing to have willing to go down the polygamy route. My God,
mm-hmm.
the big.
Yeah, and Kaza says not.
No,
Yeah.
I mean we wish, but like that's never gonna fucking happen. All of these two girls, it's not. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah,
To be
and
honest, a joke out in which he becomes Muslim or something and takes both of them would be funny to play, but it would be a joke out, you know?
Yeah.
oh, and to add to it, like Setsuna still despair-ridden, she starts having like short-term memory loss, and right,
Yeah.
repeating stuff that they've gone over. And it's at this point Kazusa basically, and this is sort of like the shock value moment. Kazusa breaks a glass and says, like, all I have for me is my ability to being a pianist. So this is the only way I can repay you, Setsuna. And she's going to strike her own hands with the broken glass so that she can never play piano again. And then the two will be even.
Jesus fucking. Oh my God. This makes the skinwalker route and the cheating route seem tame. Like, holy shit.
And Setsuna, despite the state she's in, she grabs her and stops her. And like, there's something still in her that won't let Kazusa do that to herself. And she's like, Kazusa can't compute that, despite everything she's done, Setsuna can't despise her.
Like everyone
Uh,
else does.
yeah, everyone else does. Setsuna does not. Eventually they do go off. There's some more scenes with Setsuna, and she keeps bugging him, but he just like he breaks ties. He ends up flying off with Kasasa. Says, one of the things he says in monologue is addressing it to Setsuna in his thoughts. Please hate me for all time, and surround yourself in a new, warmer happiness, and maybe eventually forget about me. And they take off on the plane together, him and Kazusa. They fly off to Vienna. But then he realizes while on there, oh, I left one thing behind. I left my guitar. And Kazusa mentions it, and he's like, no,
Yeah, he's no longer a guitar
I
cool.
left that behind on purpose, and it's meaningful to him because he feels like, and he describes it. Setsuna was always the one that loved hearing him play, and not just that. His playing the guitar was what brought Setsuna out of her depression 2 years ago. So he feels like that side of him, he's going to leave it behind. That side belongs to Setsuna, and he won't bring it with him.
And in a way, it's like the only thing of Haruki she actually has left is his guitar. And that guitar does
Yeah.
come up again when we get to the epilogue.
Yeah, and we see the what Haruki's been talking about, what Kazusa's been talking about him only being able to protect Kazusa, not the other way around, is as they fly off, Haruki breaks down crying, and the only thing Kazusa can do is awkwardly hold him in her hands. And we get an epilogue, which is like 2 more years later.
I think
Uh,
Haruki's like her
uh,
manager or something like that, or like he's
yeah.
like a PR person.
Mm.
He's speaking German, so clearly he is embracing his true Aryan heritage. I'm joking.
Optimalian.
Oh, and suddenly he gets like a video message that was passed along to him by Yoko, and it's this scene. It's Setsuna with the guitar, who's playing it well. She says that she's taken it up his stead, and that essentially This is my performance for you. I haven't forgotten about you. And effectively, the subtext is, I haven't given up on you.
I respect the grind, but at the same time,
She will never give up on him. That was clear from the onset of this route and of this game, to be honest. Like, she's not the girl, the kind of girl that gives the fuck up, like a quitter.
No.
No, listen, the day she gives up is the day she
What's going
dies.
to do? My sanity, my sanity. I've got two. I can burn it down, you know?
But yeah, this route, like, the cheating route leaves on a rather unsettling note. This is also rather even more unsettling in a lot of ways. So at least in the cheating route, Haruki didn't, like, burn down every single fucking bridge.
And the other thing is like cheating route is like a return to the status quo. It's like a return to everything that you've gone through. So it's like, despite all the mistakes, there's a comforting familiarity to it.
Yeah, this is like the
Uh,
unknown. This is like the unknown. This is like the chaos of the unknown. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you don't know what's going to happen next, except, as Setsuna unveils her red banners, because, flags doesn't cover it. We've got banners now.
so
For at least,
finally, we
yeah,
digress.
yeah, finally,
Oh,
for
go
the,
ahead.
yeah, finally, for the least depressing route of this game, the Setsuna route. So, Heraclius, take it away.
Yeah, so essentially here we have, as alluded to earlier, you've got jumping off points. The jumping off point here is Haruki
Is being honest with Setsuna the
takes the
entire
takes
time.
the train ride all of the way down to Osaka. Kazusa's concert is at the exact same time, and he's like, I want to like devote myself to you, Setsuna. I want to congratulate you on your first big deal and everything. And Setsuna basically goes, is there something else that's bothering you? Is there another reason you're here?
No.
What? No. But if you go the Setsuna route, Haruki says, yes, I've been with looking after Kasusa this whole time. Uh but and I've been trying to help her, and she's just been like, she's like emotionally unstable and vulnerable and lonely and pushing herself on me. Although he sort of doesn't just say that.
But
And
it's
she's
kind of
been a
implied. It's kind
total
of
mess to
implied.
deal with.
Yeah, it's kind of implied. And also, Setsuna, she knows. She always knows.
Yeah, and I'm s- uh, but I'm here now because I'm leaving Kazusa behind. I want to devote myself to you. And Setsuna is both like, simultaneously she's touched.
But also angry.
Yeah. And she's not even angry. She's not even angry that he's uh been effectively lying to her for this time and trying to hide it. Because from her perspective, even though he was hiding these things, he wasn't doing per se anything wrong. What she's angry about is that you came here to run away from Kasusa's concert. You know how important this is to her.
Yes, and considering how emotionally, like, unstable Kazusa is.
Yeah. There's an interesting scene where Haruki's basically pushing back at her a little, and he's saying, like, imagine what would have happened. Would you have rather Kazusa had, like, basically seduced me? And she's like, don't say that. If my true feelings will come out, and I'll say something horrible. Uh, just let me pretend that I'm angry at you. Let me admonish you with my principles. Let me remain my beautiful self. Like, it's fascinating how Setsuna can recognize this facade of herself in a way, but it's so deeply ingrained into her that
It's like
it's
it's
hard to even call it a facade.
yeah, it's like an operating software basically.
Yeah, some degree, it's like her OS, but every so often, like I don't know, the CPU wants to break it. Uh, oh,
Yeah, she needs a bit of debugging every now and then.
and and she basically tells him go back to her. You have to hitch a train ride back. You have to try and get to a concert before it's over. Of course, he doesn't. Uh,
Even the famous bullet trains of
wh-
Japan go and get to Osaka to Tokyo in that quicker time.
no, no. And he gets back, finds Kazusa wailing in her house. She's she's like ready to fucking kill him. She's calm as ever, and then she says, "If you're not going to reject me, like at the very least, let us be together right now, just for now." Uh,
And obviously Haruki says no because he loves Setsuna. He's not going to do that to her.
yeah, and Haruki says, "No, I won't do that because I love Setsuna." And Kazusa just sort of has to take this, and she sort of accepts this and wails for an hour. And like initially, there's a return to the status quo where he's looking after Kazusa as normal.
Yeah, I mean, he even bathes
He's
her. Even bathes and showers her. Not that I'm sure. Not,
yeah.
yeah, I'm sure Setsuna doesn't mind that. Well, it's perfectly fine with that.
Setsuna is a generous girlfriend.
Yeah, what kind of
Um,
girlfriend? Like, just a, like, yeah, she's completely fine with you, like, just helping, like, bathe and shower other women. It's completely fine.
only Kazusa. Um,
Yes, only.
but but Kazusa is increasingly distraught through all this.
Yes, she's also very pouty,
She
which makes it
she
very cute.
she feels like even though you tell me that you're here for me, you've abandoned me. You're lying to my face. So just leave me right now. Just leave me now. Don't stop lying to me like this. Just say that you'll abandon me. Do it. Leave me. And she like starts daring him, and she keeps doing this over and over through a number of different scenes until eventually she just totally breaks down. Yoko herself actually basically says to Haruki, "I'm happy about all you've done for my daughter, but it's okay to abandon her. It's okay to leave her alone. Like you've done what you can for her. It's all right to. She's
I
not
mean,
your
yeah,
responsibility."
I mean, like, Haruki's literally bent over backwards for Kazusa. Like, quite literally, like, you know, like, he is going the extra mile. Continuing forward, do we want to mention? Wait, does the Yoko stuff get revealed after or before?
Yoko is revealed in all of these routes. We've been sort of skimming over that.
I think we should
Uh,
reveal this right
I will
now. So
mention it here because this is actually what causes to spiral over the wall in this route. It's mentioned in the other routes, but it doesn't become that big a deal. But it becomes a very big deal here. Yoko, Kazusa's mother, who Kazusa is emotionally reliant on outside of Haruki. Uh, she's been diagnosed with, I forget exactly what they
leukemia.
mentioned, but essentially, eh,
Hmm.
yeah, it's
She's
like
got a terminal illness.
it's a long-term terminal disease. So like she's got a number of years on her left, but she doesn't know when it'll take her. It could be 10 years from now, it could be a year from now, who knows? Um, and the emotionally unstable, immature Kazusa who is saying like who is like screaming at Haruki, like leave me alone, just stop toying with me. Then she finds out. She like comes crying back to her mother, like, no, you can't ever leave me. And then the mother, who's been trying to avoid revealing this the whole time, finally has to reveal it. And she only has to reveal it actually because she has to go into the hospital and she can't cover it up.
Mhm.
And when Kazusa realizes this, she goes absolutely crazy. Absolutely.
Not only is she being
She's
rejected
like,
by
I
Haruki,
have
but her
nothing
mother's.
left to live.
Yeah.
I have nothing left to live for in the world. All is lost. That kind of mindset, and she locks herself up, like a princess in in a tower at the top of her hotel room at the top of this hotel, and she won't let anyone else in. And everyone's like really effing concerned about this. And it's at this point Haruki basically breaks down and he calls Setsuna of all people. And he turns to her and basically says, can't deal with this. Setsuna, you're gonna have to deal with this, Setsuna. I feel horrible asking you to do any of this, but can you do this? Are you guys still there?
Of course.
We're just listening to your brother.
We're up to Haruki failing to save Princess Kazusa, and he goes to Setsuna, and he basically says, "I've run out of options. No matter what I do." Actually, Kazusa sees anything I do as being inauthentic, as just me taunting her with the possibility of a relationship by being around her, and then not being able to commiserate and indulge in that. And it's just driving her nuts. And I can't get her out of this. Uh, the only one who possibly can is you, Seth. And so he turns to her. Setsuna decides, okay, she's not just okay, I'll do this. She's happy. She's like feels honored in a way. And they come up with this whole way of doing it where Setsuna is a in a starting at like a records and sales company. And so her whole shtick is she shows up and says, I'm here as a business deal. I want you to I want to do a recording of your piano work, and that's going to be a music sales for us, and we think this will be a great deal for us. A- And initially, Kazusa is very resistant, very venting. He also acts very spoiled,
Yes, like a
saying,
pampered husky.
Can you promise that my mother will live to 100 years old?"
She's being a very silly girl.
All the
How
girls in
can
this
you
game are
understand?
silly girls. Like, that's the problem.
And in this, she's like really angry at Cessna because it's like you have everything I want. You have a stable family. You have the boyfriend I want. You have the stable life. You have all of it. Whereas I'm just all alone, and I'm terribly alone, and and no one loves me or cares about me. And Cessna's like, but we do. She's like, no, no, you don't.
If they, okay,
And they
play
hit.
devil advocates. If they didn't care, they'll just leave her alone.
Mm.
And yet they go into all
No,
this
and
effort.
it's really, really. well written. Like I
Yes.
know people who act this way. I have
Oh, I do as
seen it.
well. Like what actually we
Oh
should
yeah.
mention this is like what I like about this game, especially with the main trio here, is they're so well written that they're so realistic. Like I've met
Mhm.
people like these people before, and like here's the thing: like going for the
Oh
Kasa
yeah,
and
yeah.
Sheen route, like going for the Kasa and Sheen route, I was like, oh Haruki, that's so like you. Oh Kazusa, that's so like you. Oh Setsuna, that's so like you. Like they're real people.
And it's not just that they're well defined; it's that their characteristics are totally realistic, multidimensional,
Mhm.
and like not that exaggerated from real life at all.
And also always consistent. Like you could tell that Kazusa was going to fucking flip at some point. You know,
Yeah.
you can tell that anyone is going to fucking flip, and what will probably come,
hmm
and
Yeah.
then it happens.
And then it happens. And like you can see Yoko's been trying to avoid it. And eventually it's just flips.
Mhm.
Eventually what happens is Kazusa starts talking about I can't believe anyone would ever care about someone as horrible as me. And then Setsuna is the one who actually blows up at her and says, "Do you have you ever thought about how I feel? How I felt about you? One of my best friends? Then my best friend, like, just upping and leaving suddenly one day and like telling me nothing and just running off. Did you think about how I felt then? Uh, she starts lecturing her on selfishness, and the two start like physically fighting with one another, and they have a cat fight in the hotel room.
Which was odd. Very. Don't hide it.
And the two of them eventually calm down. And Setsuna basically tells her Casas is still in this gloomy mood. And Setsuna tells her you need to stop beating up on yourself and telling yourself you're so terrible. You're kind, sensitive, considerate, all these things. Um, and they start uh hammering out more work together, and the two start getting like actually really close with one another to the point that there's like scenes of Kazusa like crying into Setsuna's arms,
It's
like
really adorable, and it's almost like
just
they're sisters.
Mhm.
yeah, and this is like the fruition of this potentiality that's always been lingering there to let Kazusa and Setsuna really get close to one another, and
Yeah.
like this was mostly always a bit one-sided on Setsuna's side, where she was the one looking after Kazusa. Kazusa never wanted to get close to her that much because even if she
Mhm.
thought she was nice and good person, she was tormented over their mutual feelings for Haruki and just felt guilty and afar and all these things. And it's this finally where she can start to really accept Setsuna and not just see her as a rival.
It feels a bit like a missing piece of most other routes, to be honest. That they
Mhm.
basically only here get to actually
Reconcile.
develop the supposed friendship. Let us, even if it
Yes.
takes like one of the mobs dying and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It is a bit. It is pretty depressing, you know. Makes you think
Yeah.
about all the possibilities you lose in the course of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the three of them have this sort of bizarre thing they throw together,
Yeah,
even
three-way
though
jam
Kasasa
session.
has this concert. Yeah, they decide to effectively, as part of this recording, that they're going to do together. This recording was originally sold as this is just going for Kazusa stuff, but they decide no, this is going to be a wonderful little session where we this will be like our grand reunion. We're all going to work together. We're all going to
Yeah, the band's back. Band is back.
the
Back.
band's back together. The band's literally coming back together, and they do this for a full week, reconcile. And Kazusa, to her credit, she's finally stable and thankful. She tells Setsuna that she's in total admiration of. I didn't realize what a strong person you've become. I just can't compete. And Kazusa is able to say goodbye. And you have a last scene where Setsuna acts a little selfish and acts a little spoiled and sort of like vents at Haruki a little, trying to confirm his feelings, making sure that he really loves her the most and stuff like that. Uh, because like deep down, Setsuna is still a normal girl. Like she's still as much as she's able to put on a face. Like when she gets the opportunity to let her guard down, she will. Even if she feels it's wrong for her to act this way. But ultimately they reconcile. Uh, there's an epilogue it shows with the two of them getting married, and then there's a long epilogue in the special contents, which effectively just shows Setsu and Haruki living successful, normal lives, intimate together. Uh, uh, and it ends with a mention of, hey, Kazusa is going to be flying by like next week for a concert. We're going to meet up with her and see her and talk with her and all that whatnot.
Right. Closing thoughts on White Album 2. I'm gonna start off. So, when I originally saw the show for this was years ago, I just kind of thought, like, generic visual novel adaptation, right? And then when I watched the
Mhm.
anime again and then played the visual novel, I just became blown away by this Shakespearean fucking love story tragedy. And I feel that White Album 2 totally deserves its spot on, like, the top 10 visual novels of all time. It is probably one of the best visual novels I've ever read outside of Tsukihime, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Um, this has been a wild ride to start to finish, and it's a real shame that they don't make VNs like this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. Uh,
Yeah, like overall,
this was really
I'd rate this entire experience like maybe like an 8, 9 out of 10, like a 7 at the lowest.
9
Like this is
9 out of 10,
yeah, this is a solid VN.
10 out of
This is
10.
a must play.
Yeah.
Yeah, my own thoughts. I think it's like I was effectively the one that dragged everyone else into this here. Um,
Yeah, as my Discord status
I
says, I was forced at gunpoint to talk about White Album 2.
no, you're the one that wanted to do some whole cast on this. Uh, Kazusa is all three of the characters are just so
Interesting.
fascinating and
Yeah.
interesting. What like even just the anime itself, I remember being struck by it when I first watched it. I came across it because I saw a random scene on YouTube of when Haruki's running up uh to see Setsuna while he's while they're doing the little band practice where he's just strumming his guitar. Kaza says he doesn't know it's Kazusa is playing alongside, and he runs up and he sees Setsuna there, hears her singing, and there's just something about the way it's shot, everything the way it's done, like the sudden determination and desperation in Haruki through that. It just feels like and then just the innocent Setsuna surprised that he's there, uh, and feeling a little embarrassed after someone walking in or singing, and it just feels like, I don't know, quintessential young love, and that itself struck me from the start. And then just the anime, you go down through it, you see this wonderful tragedy with these three characters. The strength of the tragedy being like it's hard to blame
Any of
any
them.
one of the three.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
honestly, this is like it takes three to tango, and it's very much like the situation between the three of them is that it takes three to tango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the result of that is all three of them, and then it's like this terrible, melancholic, but at the same time really satisfying uh, end ending note on the intro
Mhm.
chapter and the anime. And then once you get into the visual novel, you realize, oh, this is just the start,
Yeah, this
and
is only the
like
beginning.
Yeah.
you start seeing, it's like you get to watch the aftermath of this tragedy, which is something you normally don't see. Like you just see the tragedy and then that's it. And like this is a cautionary tale of why you don't do this, etc. But then this becomes and turns into this grander story
Mhm.
how about picking up the pieces and how they can do that and how stuck in a rut these characters are. And it very much indulges in giving you their perspective. And like this novel is first person, um, and it's really, really effective at bringing you in to
Mhm.
Haruki's mindset. Uh, every good VN usually tries to do this, tries to let you fully inhabit the main character's mindset, and this one's really effective,
I mean, yeah, I mean,
as a number of
you
others
get a
are.
good gauge of who Haruki is. Like during the entire thing, I'm
Oh
like, oh
yeah,
Haruki, that's
absolutely.
so you. Oh Kaz, that's
Hmm.
so you. Oh Setsuda, that's so you.
Hmm. But like you get to a point where like you're inhabiting the character and you feel like you're feeling almost a bit like you are the character and you're going through these things. Um, and I mean that's where the illusion of choice and having these branching paths which you're theoretically in control of is useful. Um, even if they're preset, and like the strength of the character writing, both the strength of the character writing, the strength of the shock value, the strength of all these little scenes which come together, and on top of that, it's just so. And I mean, this
Heartbreaking.
might be a turnoff to some people. It is so heart wrenching. Like there were multiple times through this reading this where I would just stop because I could like see the mistake of what was about to happen, and it was painful. It was like really painful to read that, and like
I mean,
I
I would like
understand.
yeah, like for example, I'm not like a super emotional person, but even reading some of these rules of some of these scenes was kind of painful. I'm just sitting there being
Oh yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah, and like you can say, it's oh, this is just another soap opera, and it's like, yeah, in some respects, this is soap opera ish, but like it's all designed from start to be this way, and it's just excellently
Mm,
written.
it's not.
What are your final
It's not
thoughts?
a good story. It's a story very. It's very well written. It's been planned out from the beginning, from all angles, with the reaction on every PC and NPC, if you allow me the use of these words. And absolutely, whoever did it, I don't remember the name. Like they did an awesome job and everything. And yeah, emotionally, it's a fucking train where a train wreck you are forced to watch. Like when the train goes off the rail next to the station, and you're there watching, and you are paralyzed, but you also can't look away, and so on and so forth.
You
For many
can't.
years.
Yeah, it's the classic. You can't look away. It's a train.
And you can't
It's
look
a
at
train wreck in progress.
Yeah,
people
like
are
yeah, I would agree. Like, yeah, it does have a little bit of that. Like, this is a disaster just waiting to happen, and you're kind of like morbidly curious to see what happens. Like, you want to stop
yeah.
it, but at the same time, you just want to see what happens.
Mhm.
And then for variety, there are like various small episodic things that you can go to lose. You can go do otherwise, like in the Cold War spy story that is getting us lighted by the skin changer, so on and so forth. Which give variety to the experience, I would say.
Mhm.
I didn't expect it to suddenly become freaking psychological or
Mhm.
mystery. But it did, and I'm glad I was there.
Yeah, White Album 2 is a great fucking game. I mean, we could probably go on for more hours, but this video is going to be like probably 4 hours long plus. So, and
Yeah.
it needs to be this not including like the novels and some of the other like after story content. Like, this is like it's just a real
No,
shame
there's a lot of side story content
to
which
talk
was
about.
released in conjunction with all this, and you can tell this was really a labor of love. This was
Oh yeah.
really a talented and passionate team behind this, who even when it was done, they wanted it to keep adding what they could.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
this is very well fleshed out, well organized, well planned out, well characterized. Like it just has fucking everything. Like this VN almost has
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the quintessential pure romance visual novel.